Hey guys, welcome back to my channel.
We all have those days where we are stuck in a study slump, struggling with low motivation levels, and you just can't get yourself out of procrastinating. It's totally normal to feel like that sometimes, and it happens to the best of us. I thought of giving you guys some tips and tricks that I picked up along the way from doing exam after exam after exam to get myself out of a motivation slump. So if you're struggling with something similar, maybe this video is for you. But before we start, please subscribe to my channel if you still haven't, and make sure you turn on the notification bell.
I have a huge problem with procrastination. I just can't seem to get myself to start any work most of the time, and I have these days where I don't really feel like doing anything and I waste a lot of time on my phone just watching videos, whether it's YouTube or some other. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. So when you avoid work and things pile up, you get more and more frustrated and overwhelmed. I personally beat up myself about it, even though I know that doesn't help at all. So I guess my first tip would be to just stop doing that. You're only going to make yourself feel worse and waste time by beating up yourself over something that you couldn't do or didn't do enough of. So try not to do that. Even I'm guilty of this. Don't focus too much on what everyone else is doing. Focus on what you have to do and the things that you need to cover and learn, instead of comparing yourself with your classmates or peers.
My next tip is something that we all know deep down but don't want to really accept. But I feel like it's the universal truth. I'm being dramatic, but seriously, the one and only way to get out of a slump is by actually forcing yourself to do something. So the next few tips I'm going to share with you guys are some of the things that I do to make it easier for myself to get started.
So if you're not in the mood to study, maybe you can take a cold shower or just freshen up, change into comfortable clothes.
Make yourself something warm and nice, like a cup of coffee or tea or anything you like.
Sometimes I even do like a short workout. It doesn't have to be a workout. Obviously, you can maybe go for a walk for 10 minutes or maybe just make yourself something to eat, so you're actually doing something instead of thinking of doing something. Something that helps me a lot is when I prioritize the things that I need to do right away, the things that I have to give most of my attention to. It could be this topic that you're having a test on, or maybe this assignment that the deadline is coming up. So when you prioritize your work, it takes a lot of the stress away, just because you feel like you're in control of things. And also, if you are someone who's struggling to start when there's like an overwhelming volume of things to do, my advice is just start somewhere. It doesn't matter where you start. Honestly, it could be this small topic that you did 2 months back, or maybe the most random topic, but it doesn't matter where you start, because as long as you start, even if it's for a very short time, like 20 minutes, it still helps, because getting started is the most hardest thing to do. Once you start studying, you can actually slowly build it up so that you can do more and more. Sorry, my dog's barking. So once you get started, you can actually increase the amount of time you dedicate for each task. So it's a gradual process, obviously. So take your time with it. Remember that it's important to start somewhere. So one of the things that I've learned very recently is that making timetables and assigning specific times or specific tasks don't really help at all. I mean, if it has worked for you so far and you're doing great with it, you should of course continue it, because at the end of the day, you should do what works for you. But if you're somebody like me who never ever stuck to a timetable that you made for yourself, then this tip is for you.
So the night before you go to bed, you can mentally rehearse what you would do the next day. So in your head, you are imagining the things that you plan on accomplishing. For example, the time you'd wake up and what you would do next, whether you'd be working out or studying, the topics you would cover. This way, you're not actually assigning specific rigid time intervals for each task, but actually mentally running through the things that you want to accomplish during the day, which I think takes away a lot of the stress, because most of the time we are stressed because we can't meet our own deadlines and expectations. So this way, you're actually only focusing on what your day would look like, instead of focusing on the list of things and the amount of things that you need to do, which can be very overwhelming and frustrating. because one of my biggest distractions, I'm sure it's the same for you guys, is my phone. I use this app called Forest, which you can download from the Google Play Store. I'm pretty sure it's available for iPhone users too. So what this is essentially a timer. Once you set the timer, it won't allow you to use your phone. And what's cool about this is that you're actually planting a tree, and your tree grows during this time. So when you're tempted to use your phone, you would actually see the tree growing and you would feel bad about killing it, especially if you're a plant lover like me. So you'll probably get back to studying. If your phone has the option, you can set a goal for your screen time. Unfortunately, I can't do this right now because of all the online classes, and because our country has amazing internet connectivity. Most of the time I have to resort to data and my phone to join these classes. I'm sure it's the same for you guys as well. You can also try the Pomodoro technique, where you break your work into short time intervals with breaks in between. You do this by setting up a timer for 25 minutes, and within these 25 minutes you would only focus on a single task before you take a short break. The break is usually about 5 minutes, but of course you can do longer time intervals and take longer breaks depending on how long your study interval was. So you can do this as many times as you want, focusing on one single task at a time. So this is great if you are struggling with time management and you can only focus for short amounts of time. So the last thing I want to say is,
studying is obviously not a pleasant thing to do. I don't think there's anyone in this world who actually enjoys studying. We all love comfort, so studying is hard because it requires us to give up some of those things. I mean, it's not the most pleasant thing to do, it's not the most comfortable thing to do. And if you accept the fact that it's not a pleasant activity,
it's not meant to be enjoyable. Accepting this makes things a lot easier because you're no longer feeling guilty about the way you feel about studying, and you realize that you don't actually have to feel like studying or enjoy studying to actually study. This is great because now you can actually focus on your goals and what you want to achieve by studying, instead of focusing on the struggle, the hours you have to put in, the comforts that you have to give up, because we see why we've chosen to do that.
so obviously this is based off of my experience and things that I've learned and things that helped me to study, and it could be very different for you. So, and if you're struggling with motivation and getting yourself studied, maybe give these tips a try and see if it works. If you still haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to hit the notification bell and give this video a thumbs up if you found this video useful. See you guys soon. Bye.